Good morning, everyone. Well, a very complicated weather situation the next 2 days in Wisconsin. So we've got a warm front working over the state this afternoon, then a cold front pushing in tonight, but it looks like that cold front is going to stall out tonight and not finish clearing the state until tomorrow afternoon. So let's break all this down for you with the latest high-resolution model that we have coming in. 8 a.m. this morning. This is going to be the quietest part of the day. Now, I can't rule out a stray shower right along the Illinois-Wisconsin border, but most of us are going to be dry. Now, when things start to get interesting in the southwestern part of the state, it's about 1 o'clock this afternoon. This is when the warm front is going to be pushing in. And so we're going to see scattered showers and storms. Now, I think most of these, notice there are going to be gaps, too, in this activity. I think most of these storms that fire up are just going to produce some heavy rain and lightning, but there is a chance with this warm front that some of these storms produce some damaging wind and hail. Cannot rule that out as this warm front pushes on to the north. Here we are at 4 o'clock. By this point, clear of the Madison area, but places like Portage, Beaver Dam, still got to leave in the chance for scattered storms and, yes, possibly severe storms. Let's talk about temperatures where if you get on the warm side of the warm front, yeah, we're talking about highs low to mid 80s. But if you don't, if the warm front doesn't clear you until the evening, so places like Green Bay, Wausau, Chippewa Falls, yeah, highs staying in the 70s, maybe even upper 60s. That's a possibility. Windy across southern Wisconsin. We'll call it breezy in the northern part of the state. And this is just the warm front that we've been talking about. Now I got to talk about the cold front. And I tell you what, when the cold front starts to push in, I think not only is there going to be more widespread activity, not as many gaps in the activity, but I think there's a greater potential for severe storms. So the greater chance does look like this evening, and particularly across the northern part of the state. Notice also that we could see multiple storms work over. So again, the initial storms would be where the chance for damaging wind and hail would be, but then there could still be lingering heavy rains. And then this also raises a chance for flooding, unfortunately. So here we are at 10 o'clock. And notice how most of the southern part of the state is still dry at this point. And by the time we get to 1 a.m., the activity really starting to die down. Now, eventually this front is going to move a little bit farther south, but I do think the severe threat temporarily going away about 1 a.m. Tonight. So when we're talking about the chance for severe storms, remember that what goes into these severe weather forecasts are a couple things. One part is how favorable conditions are for severe storms, but the other part is how likely storms are in general. So that's what goes into this. And so the reason why the severe threat is greatest for places like Rochester, Winona, La Crosse, is because you have the chance of seeing multiple rounds of storms, while it's just going to be along the warm front for places like Baraboo, Beaver Dam, and Madison. And also, we are a little bit more concerned about the storms being even stronger this evening with that cold front. So the threat in general, greater to the north and west, smaller to the southeast. Notice there's no chance of severe storms around the Racine, Kenosha area and Milwaukee. So what is the worst case scenario? And again, most likely up to the north and west, and fortunately Winona and La Crosse have one of the greatest chances. I can't rule out wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour, perhaps up to golf ball size hail. Again, the possibility for a few flooded roads where those multiple storms may work over the northern part of the state, and can't rule out a couple EF0 or EF1 tornadoes as well. But we can't stop there because the front not clear just yet. Now, we're jumping ahead to 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Notice the activity has certainly shifted to the southern part of the state. It's looking like a wet morning commute across southern Wisconsin. I do think it'll be a combination of showers and storms. The question is, are they going to be severe storms, though? I do think the chance is pretty small, but we can't completely rule it out. And notice, here we are at noon, still scattered activity. And notice how the temperatures are warmer in the far southeastern part of the state. Notice how it's 76 in Kenosha, but just 66 in Madison. So if we're going to see storms and severe storms, it's most likely in the far southeastern part of the state, but I'd keep the chance in for most of southern Wisconsin just to be safe, depending on where exactly this front stalls out. Now, when we get to 4 o'clock, the activity really dying down. It's mostly going to be limited to, I think, the far eastern part of the state. And notice that most of us are only going to be seeing temperatures in the 60s and maybe still the low 70s. Do have to call it a breezy day tomorrow. I do think finally all the activity is clear of us by 8 o'clock in the evening. So looking good for Friday evening plans. So the severe threat for tomorrow, greatest around Racine, Kenosha, Milwaukee, but I don't want to call it a high severe threat. A very outside chance we could see a severe storm, Beaver Dam, Portage, Baraboo, Madison. What's most likely is just going to be showers and storms. And yes, I do think there'll still be some storms, so probably just some heavy rain and lightning in spots. But worst case scenario, perhaps some quarter-size hail and perhaps wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Still time for things to change, so look for an update tomorrow morning.